In the heart of a lush, winding river lived a crocodile named Goose. Now, Gus wasn't your average, friendly neighborhood croc. He was a grumpy old fellow, content with his solitary swims and sunbathing sessions. One sunny afternoon, as Gus was grumbling his way downstream, he spotted something small and yellow bobbing in the water. It was a tiny baby duck, all alone and looking very, very lost. The little duckling, who we'll call Pip, saw the enormous shadow of Gus approaching and started paddling for his life. His little webbed feet went a mile a minute, but it was no use. The massive crocodile caught up to him in an instant. Pip squeezed his eyes shut, trembling. "Nah, I'm not hungry," he grumbled, though in truth, the little duck was so small he'd hardly be a snack. Besides, he'd probably taste like pond scum. Pip, surprised but relieved, opened one eye, then the other. Seeing that he wasn't about to become lunch, a wave of boldness washed over him. He paddled right up to the crocodile's long snout and, with a brave little hop, landed right on Gus's scaly back. Gus was so startled he almost sank. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" he growled, but he didn't shake Pip off, and so an unlikely friendship began. Pip the duck and Gus the grumpy crocodile became a common sight on the river. Gus, much to his own surprise, found himself teaching the little duckling all sorts of things. He'd hum ancient reptile songs in his deep, rumbling voice, tunes that had been passed down through generations of crocodiles. Pip would try to quack along, creating a rather strange but cheerful duet that echoed through the jungle. Gus also showed Pip the best way to catch food. He taught him how to spot the plumpest water bugs and the juiciest little fish hiding beneath the lily pads. "You gotta be quick," Gus would advise, demonstrating with a swift snap of his jaws. Pip, a fast learner, soon became an expert hunter. Much to Gus's begrudging pride, Pip, for his part, made it his personal mission to cheer Gus up. He loved to bother the grumpy crocodile, but only in the most playful ways. He'd slide down Gus's long tail like it was a water slide, landing with a splash. He'd preen his feathers right on Gus's snout, tickling him until the giant reptile let out an involuntary snort. Sometimes he'd hide among the reeds and then jump out with a loud quack, just to see Gus flinch. Gus would always pretend to be annoyed, grumbling and muttering, but a tiny smile would often tug at the corner of his mouth when he thought Pip was uned-looking. The jungle animals, who usually kept a wide berth from the grumpy croc, watched this strange pair with amusement and wonder. Monkeys would chatter from the treetops, pointing at the little duck riding on the crocodile's back. Hippos would surface with wide, curious eyes. It seemed Pip's cheerfulness was infectious, slowly but surely melting the icy exterior of the river's grumpiest resident. One particularly warm afternoon, while Gus was taking a nap on a sunny riverbank, Pip was practicing his dives nearby. He was so focused on making the perfect splash that he didn't notice a pair of cold eyes watching him from the undergrowth. A huge, thick snake, coiled and ready, was silently sneaking up on the unsuspecting duckling. The snake saw Pip as an easy meal, a perfect little bite to eat. Just as the snake was about to strike, Gus's eyes snapped open. A deep, primal growl erupted from his throat, a sound that sent shivers through the entire jungle. He had sensed the danger. With a speed that defied his massive size, Gus launched himself off the riverbank and placed his enormous body directly between Pip and the menacing snake. "Get away from him," Gus roared, his voice booming with a fury no one had ever seen before. The snake hissed, surprised by the sudden intervention but not willing to give up its meal, so it lunged at Gus, but the old crocodile was ready. A fierce battle began. They thrashed and rolled, churning the water and mud. Gus used his powerful jaws and tail, while the snake tried to coil around him. Pip watched in terror, hiding behind a large fern. He had never seen his grumpy friend like this. This wasn't the Gus who grumbled about being tickled. This was a powerful guardian a fierce protector. The fight was intense, but Gus's strength and experience were unmatched. With a final mighty clamp of his jaws and a powerful whip of his tail, he sent the snake flying. The defeated creature landed with a thud and quickly slithered away, disappearing into the dense rainforest, never to be seen near that part of the river again. Panting and covered in mud, Gus turned to Pip. "You okay, kid?" he asked, his voice returning to its usual gruff tone. But his eyes were filled with concern. Pip, overwhelmed with relief and gratitude, waddled over and nuzzled against Gus's giant leg. For the first time, Gus didn't grumble. He just stood there, a silent, scaly mountain of protection. News of the battle spread like wildfire. The jungle animals, who had once feared Gus, now saw him in a new light. He wasn't just a grumpy old croc, it was a hero. That night, the jungle came alive. The monkeys brought down the sweetest fruits. The parrots sang their most beautiful songs, and the fireflies lit up the clearing like 1,000 twinkling stars. It was a jungle party, a celebration in honor of Gus, the unlikely hero. Gus, for his part, tried to act unimpressed, but he couldn't hide his contentment. He sat by the river's edge, with Pip perched happily on his head, watching the festivities. He had not only saved his little friend, but he had also found something he never knew he was missing: a community and a reason to smile. From that day on, Gus the crocodile was still a little bit grumpy, but everyone knew that beneath his scaly exterior beat the heart of a true king, the brave protector who kept the rivers safe for everyone, and he was never, ever truly alone again. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed our story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.